on your favorite morning show this morning on Mornings Alive with Keith and Friends. We got the hug economy. Yes, there are women paying men for physical comfort. Is this a side hustle or is it a side snuggle? Coming up this morning, we're talking the hug economy. I'll pay you to hug me. I love hugs. I want to get a hug. I'll pay you for it. Coming up, former truck dweller turned world-class coach Kevin Owens is joining us. Proof that you can power clean your life while living in a pickup. On the deep dive this morning, the 15-minute morning momentum method, exact tactics top performers use to crush the snooze button and spark those daily morning motivations. And hey, protein timing debunked, the crusty truth behind the so-called muscle growth window. And remember, 2 hours coming up today every single day. Hour 2, we're getting after the morning loop reloaded, skyrocketing porn addictions. True story. Porn everywhere. Just porn here, porn there, just porn everywhere. It's a problem. We're going to talk about it. Plus, Morning Focus, rediscovering authentic purpose. Don't miss all that stuff. Hey, guys, just a reminder, smash the like button. Tell the kids to get out of the room because Jon Andersen is here and C. Marty Fit is here, and they might just say some things that might offend you. Although, if you asked Andersen, after yesterday's show, it might be me that might be offending people. Guys, remember, don't hit that snooze button. Apple gave you permission to increase it or delete or to reduce it. 9 minutes, 3 minutes, 50 minutes. Just don't hit it. Just get out of bed and get after it. And hey, guys, remember, the hotline is open. The Mornings in the Lab hotline is open. It is up and after it. It is 431-300-3005, 431-300-3005. You can connect with us, leave a voicemail, send a text, make a phone call, or maybe we'll phone you. Yeah, there you go. We're dialing it back to 1985 with the morning show and some good old fun morning conversation that is unpredictable and crazy and so forth. All right, Jimmy, let's bring in the boys. I see Marty there. I see Johnny there. What's going on, gentlemen? Hey, just a heads up, guys. I might have some internet problems today, so if I do, I might just...
Dude, what is it? I got the same fucking problem. I was actually trying to text saying, hey, I'm having a hard time getting up. I couldn't even send a text.
Oh, so good thing Marty's here. So Marty's a stable feature here for us today. So...
yeah, I'll run the show, man.
You run the show. What's going on, Marty? What's going on, brother? How are you today? Missed you yesterday.
I'm good, man. How y'all doing, man? I had a couple losses this week, man.
Man.
I left my wallet somewhere twice.
Dude.
Yeah, man.
Hold on, say that again, brother.
Left my wallet at work twice. Can you hear me?
Oh, yeah. You know what, brother? Check it out. It's all about a fucking system. Systems save everything. I swear to God, dude. You know, I was actually just talking with, we have a house manager that comes and manages the outside of the house. You know, he just keeps shit up, does whatever he's got to do, everything dog shit to fix the shit around the house. And there's a gate code, or there's a gate remote, and he lost the remote. And I had to explain to him how you create a system. And he said, it blows me away how people don't use systems to make sure that things like that don't happen.
Go ahead, Marty.
I was going to say I do somewhat have a system with wallet and keys, but the gym.
But if you had a system, you wouldn't be having this conversation, brother.
No. I'm going to say the gym gets chaotic, and sometimes my
that's exactly why you need the system.
Well, I was going to say my end of the day routine be getting thrown off a lot with some of the shit in the gym. So that's what I'm saying.
Here's the thing. Let me help you the simple one like this. You get to work. First thing you do when you walk in the door, you take those keys, that wallet, and you put it in one fucking spot. They're either there or in your hand.
That's the thing, Johnny. Is in the same spot every day.
Oh,
well, how were they not there when you left it behind?
Yo, when I'm leaving the gym, it's fucking. I'm getting ready to leave. Somebody break the mirror.
But if your car keys and your wallet are in the same spot, you can't miss. You pick up the car keys, you pick up the wallet.
And that's I picked up the keys and didn't pick up the wallet.
But the system is you pick up both.
Yeah,
you don't break the system.
Yeah. That's what I'm trying to say. The system is there. I don't know why I was an idiot this week. That's all I'm saying. I don't know.
Okay. Yeah, we all have a little hiccup in the brain once in a while. Fuck, I had one of those days yesterday when I was decomposing, brother.
So it's a self-acknowledgement, but Marty going, I'm looking at my mirror this week and I'm struggling. Hey, Marty, you're like, I don't know what the hell's happening, right?
Yeah, man. I don't know how I did it. So it's in the same spot, man. Yeah.
It's funny how there's a couple of things like my keys, my wallet, and my phone. So systems aside of whether it's just hardwired into your brain, because I know you, Marty, you get somewhere, you put them into a certain spot, get some certain spot, and sometimes there's a little, it's like a flutter, right? You just miss. Yeah. But it's incredible how there's those three things I cannot. It's like they're imprinted in my brain. I just know where they always are.
Yeah, man. I put the wallet down first. I put the keys on top of it, and I just grabbed the fucking keys. I don't know what the fuck.
Well, then you start putting the wallet on top of the keys. That you change the system.
Maybe I need to do that. Maybe I need to do that.
Systems break down. So like in my team, I say, look, systems break down. That's fine. We change the system, but if you don't follow the system, you're the problem.
Yeah, there you go. There you go. There you go.
A wallet on top of the keys. I got you, Johnny.
Yeah, that little shooken shit makes such a big difference. It's great. Like here, I think I've told you guys about this before. Like literally, when I get out of the shower, I put lotion on every time. I have 3 pumps per leg, and I have 4 pumps for the upper body, 1 pump for the head. It's just that now I know that seems silly, but okay, you're going to travel for 4 days. How much lotion do you need to put in your travel bottle? Because I can't bring the big motherfucker. So I can just calculate how many days, pump it in there. Boom. It's just you just take the guesswork right out of all those little things that would fuck you up. I'm never on the road and go, God damn it, I'm out of lotion. What am I going to do? Never happens.
There you go, Marty. What else is there to say, brother? Just use the system, man. 6 pumps here, 3 pumps there, half a stroke here, little stroke there. It's all said and done, my friend. It's all said and done. Good morning. Good morning.
That system's a little different. That system is okay. What do I got to do to get this thing to jump out on the floor? You know?
Oh, good morning, everybody in the comments. I see you. Who cares? Are we gay? Yes, we are happy today. I'm Keith Bill, super happy today. Johnny Anderson's happy. I know Marty's happy because Marty just got a lesson in systems this morning before he even got.
You know why I'm extra happy today? Because I
know yesterday you had a tough day.
Oof. Boy, but I tell you, about 3 o'clock, I was fucking really, and I had an Australian client that I had to talk to at 5. I was like, I am so far out of my element on a normal day, let alone a day where I only slept 4 hours. Holy shit! But he was really cool. But no, today's even a better day because my middle daughter and a bunch of her friends are coming for a long weekend.
Oh, that's fun.
Yeah.
There you go. Yeah. There you go. Hey guys, have you ever found yourself wanting a hug, or just needing a hug, or yeah, me too. Well, apparently, there's a space in the world where women are paying men for hugs. Jimmy, let's run it.
What?
In China, lonely women are paying strangers $7 for 5-minute hugs. They're called man mums, muscular men chosen not for strength, but for kindness. This isn't romance or therapy. It's about basic human connection in an isolated world. When people pay strangers for hugs, what does that say about our society? Maybe the real crisis isn't the service, it's the loneliness that created the demand.
Marty, Johnny's moving to overseas so he can get hugged for a living. In China, muscular men called man mums are earning up to $7 per 5-minute hug with lonely women. So Marty, Johnny, if you guys ever need something to do, man, there's we can hop on the plane and do our show from Asia there and make some cash hugging people. Thoughts, boys?
Crazy, dude. Crazy.
I don't even know what to say to that. Like, Marty, what do you think of that? And so what do you take from this when someone wants to pay you for a hug?
They're selling my body, man.
Well, there you go. Speaking of selling your body, I saw a picture yesterday with the lovely Bonnie Blue hanging out with the lovely Andrew Tate, making content together.
Oh, I think I did see that.
Yeah. There's so the internet was going mental because these two crazy what do you want to call them? Are they maybe entrepreneurs, Marty, or maybe or whatever they are? They're good old internet creators that are deciding that in order to make good content together, they're going to go and spend some time together. So
it'll probably be an interesting interview. I think they did a podcast.
I think so. Yeah. The term man.
Have you ever?
What's that?
You ever seen him have conversation with girls?
A little bit of them, but not many.
It's pretty entertaining, man. It's pretty entertaining. You know?
He has a certain point of view that I don't always agree with all of it, but he certainly has a way of delivery.
Yeah, he had. Well, if you aside from the delivery and all the the polarizing shit, which that's a content game.
Yeah.
I mean, the guy's pretty intelligent and has a great way with words. He's really articulate. So
Yeah,
I would encourage you to give it a look. I know he has a bad rap and a bad name, but it's actually not as bad as people make it out to be.
Interesting. Hey guys, coming up, we got Kevin Owens hanging out in the green room for us. He's the founder of Overseas Famous and Overseas X, platform supporting overseas athletes with real world challenges, mental health, and post-career transition. He hosts a podcast, spotlighting the untold stories of international athletes. I'm looking forward to welcoming Kevin Owens up here in the lab in a quick second. Rufy, I see you there in the comments. We got Who Cares in the comments as well. We got Lady Drew in the comments. We got Fit Presenter heading off for a run here. Jimmy, let's get to the check-in. What's that? Yeah, this Fit Presenter.
He been here?
He's been on the show. Yeah, he's been popping in.
He's been chiming in a lot lately.
Yeah, he absolutely has there. So, Jimmy, let's run the accountability check-in, and we'll come back and bring Kevin Owens in for a wonderful conversation. Let's do it, brother.
I am capable. I am strong. I will achieve my goals. Today is a new day.
To check in, how to have tough conversations you're avoiding. I see you. Who cares? You didn't call the number. No, the phone didn't ring. Who cares? You send us a text. Give me a call. I might just answer it. How to have those tough conversations you're avoiding. You know the ones I'm talking about, you guys. The ones you're getting in front of today. You're wondering whether you're going to have it. You're going, okay, I'll talk about it now. I'll talk about it later. I'm going to get to it at some point. The conversation you rehearse in your head at 2 a.m. The conversation you rehearse for minutes on minutes going, okay, I'm going to talk to that person when the clock hits that spot. You know, the one you keep putting off, the one you're procrastinating onto, the one you're going to deal with tomorrow, the one you're going to deal with someday, one day, the one that you're going to deal with because you're not ready yet. Well, maybe it's feedback for someone on your team. Maybe it's the hard truth with your business partner. Maybe it's the talk at home that keeps getting pushed because, well, it just feels safer to wait. So you walk around, you carry the weight, you're hoping that the problem will fade on its own or that a different solution will reveal itself. But here's the thing, guys, it never does. It never does. That dread just walks around you all day, growing, draining your energy, stealing your focus, following you everywhere, into your workouts, into your meetings, into your dinner with family. You tell yourself, I'll do it later. I don't want to make it worse. The truth is, the anxiety of having that conversation is almost always worse than the conversation itself. So I invite you to consider this, guys, how to stop avoiding those conversations. Pick a block of time every week. Call it your tough conversation hour. Maybe it's first thing in the morning. Stack it hard. Every hard talk you need to have into that hour. Why? Because your mind loves the structure. You know, guys, you love that structure. Johnny likes to talk about like the systems. Now your brain knows there's a solution to the problem and it wants to solve it. This doesn't eliminate the anxiety, guys, but it makes it quieter. And it gives you more room to focus on those other things that need your attention too. Committing an hour to tough conversations is no different from committing time to exercise and take care of your mental health. Yeah, it's going to be tough, but the first one's the hardest. The next one gets easier. When having those tough conversations becomes a habit, you're going to sleep better, feel better, and be a more pleasant person to be around. And who doesn't want that? And that's your accountability check-in this morning on Mornings in the Lab with Keith and Friends. Jimmy, let's run the opener for Owens. Let's get after it.
What if your dream job turned out to be a lonely grind? Meet Kevin Owens, a man who discovered this truth the hard way after walking into such a wild scene at his team hotel that he chose to sleep in his truck instead. Kevin's 9-year journey through 16 countries as a professional basketball player became something far more profound than sports. From Division I college hoops to international courts across the globe, Kevin experienced the unglamorous reality behind the perceived glamour. Missing paychecks, freezing apartments, cultural isolation, and the mental health struggles that athletes rarely discuss publicly. But here's where Kevin's story gets remarkable. Instead of letting these challenges defeat him, he transformed them into his greatest strength. Today, Kevin is the founder of Overseas Famous and Overseas X, a revolutionary platform supporting athletes through the very struggles he once faced alone. As an author, podcast host, and mental health advocate, he he's turned his toughest experiences into a lifeline for others.
Has gone from Division I college hoops to playing pro ball in 16 countries to sleeping in his truck outside exposure camps to founding Overseas Famous and Overseas X, author, podcaster, real-time advocate for athlete mental health and transition. Whether you're an athlete, a fan, or just love a good comeback story, get ready for some tales of grit, laughter, and the truth about life overseas. And yeah, this guy's got some stories you won't hear anywhere else. Let's bring him up, Jimmy. Kevin Owens is joining Mornings in the Lab with Keith and friends.
Jimmy has said his camera had cut off. I don't know if.
Okay. All right. We're going to keep up. There he is.
There he is. There we go.
Come on, man.
What's up, guys? How are you?
What's going on, Mr. Owens? Where are you joining us from this morning?
Right outside of Philadelphia.
Nicely done. Philly. Marty, didn't we just have somebody from Philly, Marty?
Yeah, we did. The therapist. Zen therapy.
Kev, we have a bad echo. Kev, you can throw some headphones in. We need some headphones because we got a really bad echo for our audience here.
Yeah, I got you.
Yeah, thank you, sir. Awesome. So, guys, Kevin's pro career started with him sleeping in his truck after discovering his hotel room was already occupied by a full-blown orgy. Yeah. So despite being a Johnny's face picks up. Despite being a 7-footer, he was once a skinny.
Dude, you never fucking know when you're out in these pro settings. You never fucking know what you're going to get when you open up a hotel room door.
He's nodding in the
green. Let me tell you, bro.
Like, yes,
that's actually kind of low on the. That's almost mediocre on the fucking totem pole of shit you might find opening up a door.
Yeah, 100%. That's like that. We're talking like middle of the road. With professional basketball like that, I put that story in. There's a lot of stories I didn't put in because I was like, well, this is way too far, but I can't tell this. I don't want to ever embarrass anyone, but there's been a lot of stories. So
that's funny.
It's a good time.
Known for honest, real talk, sharing stories athletes usually keep behind closed doors, Kevin started his pro career sleeping in his truck after that wild hotel mishap. He prioritizes community mentorship, authentic storytelling on Instagram and LinkedIn. Dude, that's a funny story, man. I'm just crazy. I got to tell you, Kevin, when I was looking for guests for the show and I found you, your posts and your interviews, you always circle back to quote unquote real talk. There's no question that you've built a brand on honesty, vulnerability, and telling the stories that I'm going to say that. My assumption, I've gotten to know a lot of athletes who are pro athletes who are friends over my lifetime. You tell a lot of stories most athletes keep private, Kevin.
He muted himself.
I don't think you hear him.
You're muted on the horizontal.
He's muted.
Sorry, I don't know. Like,
Kev, you're muted on both, buddy.
I can hear him on one of them.
Yeah, he's good on one. You got to mute the other one. The vertical.
All right, sorry guys.
I see Kevin does well at IKEA. I'm thinking.
Yeah, I'm like on the.
Nope.
Can you?
Still don't hear you, brother.
Yeah. Kevin Owens hanging out, figuring. So Kevin Owens is an awesome athlete, truck driver, great coach.
There we go. He's back. There
we go.
There we go. Awesome.
All right. Sorry, guys.
That's okay. So talk, Kevin, about real talk. You're a guy leading conversations with stories that athletes generally aren't telling, yet you are.
Yeah. So, I mean, I'm an open book. A lot of the things that I've always been, a lot of people who know me, they're like, yeah, I tell it like it is. It's one of my kind of traits that I think I'm good at. But that's what my book was. I mean, when I played overseas, like people knew who I was. I didn't really sugarcoat anything. And I took those stories, and I mean, even when I was writing the book, people were like, "You're going to talk about that?" I'm like, "Yeah," because I was cool with being vulnerable. I didn't really care. That's why I was an athlete, because I didn't care about being vulnerable. I didn't care about failing. I knew I had to just keep pushing through, and I took that into business. But yeah, man, it's a different world in the overseas. It's a different world in the professional athlete game. But I wasn't living the NBA life. The overseas life was a little different, but it had its perks as well.
What would you say it's the biggest difference, Kevin? Like the overseas life as a pro basketball player?
I mean, the lifestyle, way different. I mean, you're not getting paid millions and millions of dollars. You're getting paid hundreds of thousands of dollars, but not millions and millions. So that was you're not getting those perks.
Yeah.
the crowds are insane overseas. I don't know if you guys have seen like the Partizan and Serbian games.
Yes.
There's flares everywhere.
Yes.
That's a typical overseas game. I played in Kosovo, which is like Serbia.
Yeah.
And that whole entire atmosphere, there's flares. We had a flare getting thrown at us. The guy started breaking glass behind the window and throwing at us. It was a big derby. So things get real crazy. The fans are intense. I'm from Philadelphia. So like for me and I'm a huge Philadelphia athlete or Philadelphia fan.
Yeah.
So like for me as a Philadelphia fan to be like, yo, you guys are taking it too far. That was something that I thought
That's
was
crazy.
yeah.
That is crazy.
You guys are way out of line. I'm from Philadelphia and you're out of line.
Yeah, no kidding. Marty, you're a D1 athlete. You come across Kevin Owens' pedigree through your career?
No, I haven't. This is my first time meeting Kevin or hearing of Kevin. But
Yeah.
But
well, the
no,
era and the age has got a lot to do with that. If they weren't playing in the same era,
Yes.
it's the odds of them crossing paths and knowing each other very slim.
For sure.
Yeah. But I've been in some environments. I got to play against Kentucky, which was pretty cool. But I'm sure it's nothing like from at least from the videos I've seen in Europe. It's crazy over there.
Because in college they have to behave. There's a set of rules when you're in school. When you're an adult in these other type of arenas, man, as long as you're paying, they don't give a shit. They just want you to keep buying shit when you're in the arena.
I will say that American crowds are really good at like the psychological warfare.
Yeah.
They will attack your mental side because they'll come after everything. They know your girlfriend. They know your dog. They know everything about you. So they'll just attack you. Over there, they're just throwing shit at you. Like they're not really like, they don't really verbally come after you. They just call you stuff in another language, which I'm fine with. But in America, they really come after every single thing you love, and it starts kind of seeping in. We played Maryland once, and they knew everything about me. Everything, like more than I knew about myself. I was like, I don't even understand this, guys.
That's what I find fascinating about the wall that Ballmer has built out there at the Clippers at the Intuit Dome. You have that very wall of fans, and when you said psychological warfare, Kevin, it's exactly what I think of because everybody's out there. You got to be a fan, and you're just trashing the dudes on the court. Just call him whatever you want, right? So we're hanging out with Kevin Owens, a man who's gone from Division I college hoops to playing pro ball in 16 countries to sleeping in his truck. Kev, let's start there, man. I got to ask that question. Let's go through the transformation story. Kev, how did sleeping in your truck that first night set the tone for your career?
I mean, if you knew me before, you would be like, yeah, that makes perfect sense. Because like, I just think weird shit follows me around. And I'm always in the middle of something like not bad. Like I was never in the middle. I was never a bad kid. I was never in the middle of bad or like doing something I wasn't supposed to do. But I was always in the middle of like, where the fuck, like what just happened? Like I just seemed to draw that in. So when I showed up to this whole entire exposure camp.
Yeah.
Went through the day, didn't get back to my hotel until late. Walked into my hotel and there's like a straight up orgy going on. I didn't really know what to say or do, so I just left. But I left my bag in. It was an awkward scene, and then I was like, I grew up. We didn't have much. My parents were teachers, so I like slept in my car because I didn't have any money to buy another hotel room because I already bought that to share with someone. I didn't have money to buy a new hotel room, so I was like, I guess the truck it is. Couldn't fit in my truck, so I had to sleep in the bed. And I mean, 7 feet's not fitting in much of anything, so it was either that or a tent, and I didn't have money to go to Walmart and get one of those either. So there it was.
Are you 7 foot, brother?
Yeah, 7 feet.
Holy Christ! Yeah, sleeping in a vehicle. That's a fucking. As a 6 foot person, sleeping in a vehicle is not very easy. Let alone 7. That's a lot of extra inches to find a place to get comfy, bro.
Yeah, there's in that gas. I mean, there's just no room. The seats don't work that way.
I feel like I have to ask the obvious question that I'm paid millions of dollars to ask every time I get behind the camera. And the question is, why didn't you join the orgy?
I don't know. I feel like that's not to get all like Seinfeld or anything, but I feel like I'm not an orgy guy. Like I'm gonna have to change my outfit, change my whole way of life. That wasn't me. I just walked in kind of like,
I'm gonna change my outfit. That's awesome, Owens.
I got my freshman year of college, my roommates / teammates, they were in a situation like that. and like woke me up and were trying to get me to join. And I'm like, bro, I'm not just hop. I don't know. I'm not built like that. You know,
See, I'm the same way.
Well, you know, there's another side of the equation though too, is that, you know, it like Keith, you're like, why didn't you join? Like but keep in mind, you stumble across this stuff all the time. It's like if you're in the desert, a glass of water is amazing.
Yeah.
You got a tap next to you. You really don't give a shit about that fucking cup of water.
Yeah, you just kind of.
I love
it's
it.
just there. You're like, all right, I like, you know, what am I going to introduce myself? Like, hi, before we jump in here.
Well, he's probably thinking to himself, you know, I did get some fucking rest. You know,
exactly what he's thinking. It's exactly. So, Kevin, but take myself, John and Marty, before the moment you had to wander across the orgy and sleep in the truck. Like, take me the few moments before that. Like, what was going on in your head? Were you like, holy shit, man, I might be sleeping in the truck tonight, or what am I doing tonight? Or like, because you just don't go, okay, I guess I'm sleeping in the truck. There's a journey to get to that point. Tell me about that point.
So the crazy thing was I went into the room and I was so tired that the lights were off and I heard stuff, but you know, you're like, what am I hearing? Like, you never think that it's going to be the thing. So I walk in, I drop my bag down, and then I was like, flipped on the light, and it was like, whoa, like all these voices screaming at me. There's nudity, there's everything, and I'm just like a deer.
They had the lights off. That's uncommon.
Yeah,
that's uncommon.
The TV was on, so there was the background light, so I guess they could see where they're putting stuff. But like, it was pretty intense, and I left my bag, so I left the room, and I had to go back into the room to get my bag. When I got my bag, that's when I was like, all right, like there's nothing I can do because I can't afford another room. And it was so awkward that I was like, and there's no way I can even in like 2 hours slip back in and sleep in the bed. They'll be like, dude, what is this? So I was like, I just need to get as far away from this situation as possible. So that was like legit. I was like, all right. And I grew up, we grew up rough and tough. I was like, whatever, like I'm cool, whatever. And I was like, the awkwardness of going back in that room that was way worse than me just going into my truck and like avoiding the situation.
That's awesome. That's awesome. Kevin Owens, Keith Bellis, Jon Andersen, See Marty Fit this morning. Mornings Live with Keith and friends. Hey, Kev, I know I booked you for 13. I'm loving your energy. Can you stick around longer with us?
Yeah, we got it.
Awesome. Let's do it. Marty, we're going to do the fit tip. We're going to come back and we're going to continue the conversation with Kev. And we're going to kick it off after Marty's with, I'm assuming, Johnny, that Kevin's not a snoozer. But we're going to talk about the morning momentum method, how performers like Kev do not hit the snooze button. Let's get after Marty. Fit tip. Let's do it right now, my brother from another mother. Sounds just like this. Let's do it, pal.
All right, let's get it, man. Brother from another mother. Keith, you're hilarious. All right, we got the fitness tip for today. Stop half-assing your workouts. You understand intensity because when it's time to close a deal, now all of a sudden you're intense. When it's business, you're intense. When your family needs something done, you can become intense. But you go to the gym, and I'm sorry, I got to keep it real. You train like a bitch. You're not going hard. You're trying to find the easiest workout. You're not lifting heavy, right? You're going slow on your mile time. You're going super slow on your cardio. Whatever you do, you're half-assing just to check a box, and you have the nerve to wonder why you're not getting results. Pick up the intensity. Stop treating your fitness like a side project. You wouldn't treat your business like that, and you wouldn't treat your family like that. But you got to be healthy to be effective there. So why would you treat your fitness that way? Step it up. You have to work out with some intensity if you want some results and if you want some longevity, because you're not going to get a benefit if you continue to half-ass. And 9 times out of 10, if you're half-assing that, probably half-assing your nutrition, probably half-assing on drinking your water, and the list goes on. So step it up, cut the excuses, and stop half-assing your workout. That's the fitness tip for today.
Today with See Marty Fits. Getting after it every single day at 8:30 Eastern time. Let's get into the deep dive, Jimmy, before we come back with Kevin Owens and keep the conversation going, brother. The 15-minute morning momentum method. How top performers like Kevin Owens beat the snooze button. We're talking about it right now. Jimmy. Nope.
You got a video? Is it supposed to be a video?
There's supposed to be a video, but I guess so. It's funny because the boy The boy inside the man, Mr. Carter, had a video coming for the deep dive, but apparently he may have missed it last night. So we were going to have a conversation with about there's no clip here for us. All right, so listen, I am going to get into the conversation to go on the snooze button. Kevin, do you hit the snooze button?
Sometimes I'm bad. Yeah.
Oh, Marty, Johnny, he's letting us down. Okay, hold on. I see Johnny sitting down. Let's tune him up, Johnny. Let's get Johnny tuned up. Kevin, you got your armor on, Johnny? You heard the answer.
Well, I mean, what do you say?
It's occasionally. It's tough.
Life is a series of choices. It's like go back to your playing days. Did you own the? If you're supposed to shoot your 100 free throws, did you shoot 90 and go home?
It's funny because when I look at it, it's like I'll snooze now. Back in the day, when I was playing, I never snoozed. Like now, I'll be like I don't know. Maybe.
Owens.
But hold on. Let me stop. Don't you help people that are transitioning from that eye of the tiger into real life? You're supposed to be the guy that keeps that eye of the tiger. For the love of Christ, you can't fucking say, hey, you know what? I'm teaching you to keep that savage mentality into your life, but I hit the fucking snooze button. Don't do that.
Hey, Marty, let's go for a walk.
Are you a father, brother?
Yeah, I got 2.
Okay, well, perfect. Your clients are just like your kids. They don't give a shit what you say. They care what you do.
Yeah, and the snooze button is honestly. So I'll right now. I'm not like a habitual 15 times, but if it's like once or twice.
Are you explaining to us why you only shot 90 free throws yesterday?
Exactly. Yes.
No, but nobody wants to hear it because that explanation is a camouflage excuse.
Kevin Owens is never going to hit the snooze button again, Marty, because all he's going to do is hear Jon Andersen jumping on top of him.
That's why we got Johnny.
Here's how you redeem yourself, brother. Here's how you redeem yourself. You start shooting 110 free throws, which means now you set your alarm 9 minutes back and you start gathering up the fucking time you've been wasted. And this is a methodology you can teach your clients to keep that eye of the tiger.
I'll just start. I'll get my mental alarm going and hit that 10 minutes early. Just pop up. Get the mental alarm going.
Oh, I love it, Kev. We joke because we talk. So it's one of our we stand on here. One of the pillars we stand on here on our morning show is we always talk about encouraging guys to stop hitting the snooze button. We hear so much.
I'm gonna stop. I'm
what's
locked
funny,
in.
Kev, is that I did some research into this before Apple made a change last week. Forever the snooze button has been 9 minutes, Kevin, because of the mechanical clocks. Yeah. And then when we went to digital clocks, they just kept the 9 minutes. And Johnny and I and Marty were doing some math one day. If we hit the snooze button every single day for a whole year, let's say you did, you're actually 2.5 days behind Keith and Marty.
Okay.
2.5 days, right? You do it twice, you're almost 5 days behind us. So when guys come to Johnny going, I don't have any time, John's like, come on. You fucking hit the snooze button twice. You're 20 minutes.
The root of this whole thing is you teach people to keep the eye of the tiger. Why are you not practicing it? That's the question I have.
I honestly, it's like 6:15 is usually when I wake up, but I don't wake up. I don't have to wake up until 6.
Brother, it's a mindset. It's a position on how you attack life, and this is what you teach.
Correct, but
so why do you lead with this terrible example?
Because when I look at it as I'm gonna get I feel like
I hope your brother. I hope your clients aren't listening because this is fucking terrible, brother. Did you make these kind of excuses to your fucking coach when you fucked up, or did you say yes, sir? I fucked up. I'll do a better job next time.
Listen, with me, I'm like the most accountable human being. Fuck it.
Yeah, snooze. That sounds very accountable, brother. That sounds extreme, brother. The way we do one thing is the way we do everything. I know you got the eye of the tiger. My question is, this is what you teach. Why are you not practicing? And it goes down to the littlest things.
Which I totally agree with. But the snooze, that's one of those things. I have 1,000 things in my life that I do very well. One thing that I'm off on, fuck it. I'm not a machine. The way I look at it, I'm like, yo, I can handle all this shit. 9 minutes of snooze, I don't give a fuck. I lose.
Then why don't you just set your alarm 9 minutes fucking later and get up when it tells you to get up?
I should. I don't know.
It's a principle, brother.
Okay.
It allows me to kind of like lock in. I feel like if I hit, I don't fucking know. I snooze sometimes.
Coach, when I miss, when I only do 90 free throws, it helps me lock in.
Correct. But I always shot 100 free throws.
Your coach is going to say yes.
I never shot 90 free throws. I always fucking did my shit. I don't give a fuck about this.
Okay.
I don't care.
All right, so moving on, Andersen and Owens.
And now, real quick, only reason I care. You're a cool cat, and I think you're making a difference. We're in the same business. We help people.
Yeah.
And so if I didn't care, I wouldn't point it out. I know that you're doing a great service to people. And by all means, if I say something right here, like if I use a word like I can or I hate, I would expect you to step up and swat me in the chin.
Correct. Yeah. I mean, there's I think like, and it's a great segue to kind of like what we're talking about. Cause yeah, like there's little things. And one of the one things that I like to teach, like I understand that like and I think one of the crazy things, and like, you know, Marty can chime in as well, because I think as an athlete, like we're looked at as like, you have to be so fucking locked in at all times. Like you can't you can't ever take like a second to just focus on you, to like be this, you have to be this machine. And we're machines in like 99% of our lives. Like I really am a machine. I work out every single day. Me and my wife talk about this. Like, how do you stay in shape? And I say, I'm trying to be a good role model for my children. So I stay in shape every single day. I'm 45. I'm still in great shape. And it's one of those little things that when I look through my day and I'm locked in and I'm going, like as an athlete, and I still have that mindset, there are things that I allow myself. Like I'm the same way with food. Like I'm locked in, but I'm not as locked in. Like if I need something, if I want to reward myself with something, if I need more sleep, if I need more of this, I'm going to take it. Like I'm going to get my shit, like make sure that I'm locked, that I'm here, because the things that I need to work on, like being on the court, being with my clients, being with these things, those need to be like locked in. But that's what I think, like the perception of an athlete is you are this crazy Terminator machine who's just getting up like a robot and your like brain is programmed. I feel like as athletes, you're a human being too. You have these laps of, you know, things that you do in your life.
You're bang on, Kevin, and your vulnerability as a human is what makes you relatable. And I was, you know, Marty and I joke with Johnny, and that's funny because I knew when you made the comment with snoozing, Johnny was like, you're going to have some fun about the whole thing because that's what we do here. But, you know, John made a comment, I don't know, a number of weeks ago, and he's like, yeah, I was standing in the kitchen in front of my fridge, and I was asking myself, what are you doing, you stupid fat son of a bitch? What are you doing here? What are you making a bad decision? I'm thinking, John, you do that? And I only bring it up, Kevin, because we as humans, we put people on pedestals, pro athletes, pro humans. You know, Johnny's successful with what he's done. You're thinking to yourself, that guy doesn't make those kind of decisions. Yet we all do.
Yeah.
So when I hear you saying, yeah, I do hit the snooze button now and then, Johnny came on the show Monday and was joking that he hit the snooze button, even though he didn't. Like, it just makes
I did hit the snooze, but I hit the snooze because I needed 9 more minutes of my meditation.
Yes, I know, but I'm just reframing that it makes us relatable, right? And because we are not machines, right? And we try to live our best lives every single day, but there's going to be times, Kev, you're like, no, I got to hit the fucking snooze. But not no more, because next time I reach over there, you're going to say to your wife, I see this big bald motherfucker sitting over there. So I got to get my ass up. Kev, talk to us a little bit about Overseas X. I'm fascinated about this because as I was starting the lab, I've been fortunate, and I've been very fortunate to get to know a lot of former pro and current pro hockey players.
Okay.
I'm up here in Canada. I know the biggest struggle they have is when the game is over. Mm-hmm. And, you know, identity's lost, game's over on Friday. You wake up on Monday going, oh, where's my team? Where's my structure? Where's all this? And then, I'm going to go play overseas. Oh, it's even more different.
Yep.
Talk about Overseas X. And what's that one thing you wish you had as a rookie that you're now giving to others, Kev? I'm really fascinated by this, brother.
So absolutely. So yes, Overseas X, what we've done is we've created this platform where we have athletes. When I played overseas, like you said, the transition from athletics to the real world is not easy. I mean, you and the crazy thing is, like, if you're in college, the college has things for you. They have billionaire donors. They have guys who will be like, yeah, if you're a star, come work for me.
Yes.
But if you go that next level and you get the NBA, obviously you're going to make bigger money. You're going to make a bigger name. The problem is if you go overseas, I always compare it to like Homer Simpson disappearing into the bushes. Like you're gone. No one knows who you are. You've completely disappeared off the map. I mean, we talk about like Tyler Hansbrough played overseas, and everyone's like, wasn't he with the Pacers? And he just disappears from the map, and then he reappears back in America. And you're like, what the fuck happened? Like, where did you go? And overseas is such a generic term that you just go over there. So the structure of like when you come home and you don't have that same, you've been gone for 10 years, so your college, all those that network dried up.
Yeah.
Now you come home, you have an overseas network, but what are you going to do with that? I'm not living over there. I'm coming and living in America. So you come home and you're just like your town, and you're like, people are like, where have you been? What's going on? So
that's
you come
bizarre.
home.
It's like you're transient, eh? It's like you're kind of stuck in the middle, the messy middle, as we learned yesterday. You're kind of stuck in the middle. You're not over there, you're not over here. You're just kind of keeping things alive.
Exactly. I mean, brother, I went through something similar because I'm not sure if you understand my background, but I had 2 different careers where I was competing either in Europe or in Asia, Japan primarily, and so I had the same thing in transition. My first athletic career was pro strongman, and all of a sudden I'm fucking, I had a back surgery. I'm kind of fucking lost. Like, holy Christ, then. Boom, I switched gears, wrestled over in Japan for the night. And these were like 7-year chunks. So I came home and was kind of lost, made that switch to wrestling, got released at 42, had to go through it again and became a pro bodybuilder. But, basically these 3 different times I had to it was like I'm a chameleon, I had to kind of change and relearn who I was, rechange my focus. Really, then when the bodybuilding thing came to an end, so now it's just 3, talking a little over 21 years, multiple transitions. It was basically me taking, who I was and applying it to business. It's taking, who all of these different transitions or these pivots. It was just learning how to connect it to something else for me. And I'm sure that's got a lot to do with what you're teaching, but. For anybody that's gone through that, a lot of guys don't make it through those pivots.
No.
So what you're doing is highly, highly needed.
I appreciate that. And you're right. Like the pivot of coming back and figuring out life. And the crazy thing is, John, you're making good money. Like you're making money where you're like, this is better than my friends back home who are like working 9 to 5s. And you're like, I'm making more. But then like you come home, and you're starting back where they started 10 years ago. So that's the thing, because you want to keep that money coming. You have this elevated persona, you have this elevated life, and now you have to come home and start over because you don't have a name, you don't have an NBA name. So what we've done at Overseas X is I've looked at every single thing that I would have needed when I came home. Tax preparation. I got hit with a tax bill for $23,000. When I was playing overseas, because I didn't understand the overseas tax structure. So I knew that I paid taxes in Australia. I did not pay American taxes. So the salary I got, you have 20-something thousand earmarked for something else, and now that has to go. So like that was a kind of a blow. So you have all these mental hits like financial advising, and then like just little things like nutrition, training, finding a trainer, having any kind of like, even like a travel person. Like we have a guy on the site who can take your make sure that you're signing up for points everywhere you go, because there's so many things in overseas basketball that if you knew how to handle all these resources and take in all the information, when you leave, you'll be very successful. And like Keith and John, you guys talked about identity, which is a big thing, because that whole plays into it. Who are you besides a basketball player or a wrestler? Like who are you? What do you have to be now? Because that's the next step. Is, are you only a basketball player? And what I've discovered is like you have to be a businessman too. And that was crazy. Let
me real quick, brother. I love what you're saying, and I'm going to just kind of share where I was, and that's why I attacked the snooze button, because I came home for basically in bodybuilding. I didn't really come home because it's different. You're only competing a few times a year, but it's still the same concept, right? So all of a sudden, life of domestication is really what it comes down to, you know? So basically, I knew what I was capable. I knew I was a fucking savage because I did all the shit. So keeping that mentality, including, I'm speaking for myself, not busting you up anymore, with love, but by me starting to hit the snooze button, I was giving away the person that made me with all that hard shit I did. So what I realized is that I need to do exactly what I did to get me where I was. I just need to apply that to something else. And that's what I applied it to business. Now, keep in mind, in my juncture too, I was an entrepreneur early on. So I carried business all the way through the whole fucking thing. Now it was just a matter of me deciding, okay, I'm gonna connect it to this business, you know?
Yes. Kevin, John, Keith, and Marty are hanging out here this morning on Mornings Live with Keith and friends. We're gonna do lifestyle tip with Jon Andersen. Marty, you got to rock and roll, brother?
I can stay for a little bit. Is AJ coming?
AJ's not here today. No, AJ will be back in tomorrow.
All right, I'll stay for Johnny's tip.
Awesome, cool. Let's do Johnny's tip. Kevin, we're gonna keep it at the top of the hour. Can you do that, brother?
Yeah, you got it.
Awesome. You're awesome, man. I'm loving this, loving the energy. We're going to do lifestyle tip with Johnny. We're going to give Johnny a little break. We'll keep the show going on with Kevin Owens joining this morning from Overseas X. Let's get after it, Johnny.
All right, we're taking this one kind of right off the conversation we've been having. You see, what so many people don't understand about success in life is you got to look at the little things. The way you do one thing is the way you're going to do everything. You take shortcuts in one part of your life, you're going to end up taking shortcuts in others. It's just the way we're designed. So it's very important that you look at the little things. The snooze button. The difference in your day, when you hit the snooze, you've already positioned yourself mentally that you're waiting, that you're not taking action. I know it doesn't seem like this is some big deal, but when that alarm goes off and bam, you're up and you're moving, that behavior pattern is something that will carry into other parts of your life. Getting uncomfortable and taking the first step or taking a step or taking action is a skill. And you must practice that everywhere, including the snooze, including all the little things that you don't want to do. I don't like to take out the trash. When I find myself thinking about reasons why I shouldn't take out the trash, I give myself a quick swat on the chin, get up and get moving, take out the trash, because the way we do one thing is the way we do everything. Especially if you're a business owner. You're cutting corners in one area over here, you're cutting corners in other areas. And what happens is we do it often enough, we don't recognize we're doing it. That's where the problem lies. So you focus on the little things in your life, you will level up as a person. And when you level up as a person, your whole life will level up, including your business, including your relationships. This is what I do. This is what I teach. So if you want to talk more about this, or you just want some sort of free resource to get you moving in the right direction, my goal, my purpose in life is to help everybody that I come across. So drop in the DMs, say, hey, let's chat. Let's get you moving in the right direction. Rock and roll.
With the lifestyle tip every day, right here on Mornings Alive with Keith and friends at 8:45 Eastern time, giving you guys something to think about. Connect with Johnny on LinkedIn, you guys. Connect with Marty on LinkedIn, you guys. Great resources to help you achieve those biggest, most audacious goals in your life. Good morning, Bernard. Good morning, Adam. See you guys there. I didn't get a chance to say good morning to you guys. We're hanging out with Kevin Owens. This guy's a superstar, even though he does hit snooze every now and then. He's not going to anymore.
Real quick on that level, what was you guys, I don't remember the name, but I guarantee you two basketball players, there was a coach. He was like one of the most winning ever. I believe he was a college coach, maybe a pro coach, or maybe both. And he started off with his team teaching them how to tie their shoes a certain way. Because he wanted the littlest things done properly, because the way we do one thing is the way we do everything. Now, if that's not speaking the fucking language of you two, I don't know what is.
Yeah, I remember. There was like, I remember Bill Walton talking about that.
Really?
Like, John Wooden would be like, sit down and be like, tie your shoes. And they're like, what are we doing here? Like, why are we tying our shoes? And he was just
the little things matter, baby. The little things matter, baby.
Really? Interesting. Hey, Kev, if you could put one message on a billboard for every overseas athlete, hockey, football, soccer, every athlete coming over, what would that billboard say to them?
You're not alone. The
There we
biggest thing I
go.
would say is you're not alone. That is what I'm trying to preach to these guys.
Yeah.
Like you said, when you come, like the reason I built this is because there were no resources for overseas athletes, and no one really understood the plight when you come home. Like no one got it. Everyone just assumed you were rich and you were successful and you like had it all figured out. And that's the crazy thing is like we were joking about earlier. Like we don't have it all figured out. Like not every we're still unfinished products. Like I always say, like I'm an unfinished product. Every single day I'm trying to grow. I'm trying to get better. I'm trying to build. That's just who I am.
That's so good, brother. That's so good. And it never stops.
Yeah, it never stops. And that's one thing where when I was terrified when I retired because I didn't have a support system. I didn't have someone standing there being like, okay, here's what you do now. And as a basketball player, that's all you've gotten since you were 10 years old. Coach tells you to go here. Coach tells you to do this.
Yeah.
Teacher tells you to do this. You're just instructed your whole entire life. And then you finally get to a point where you're like, I'm overseas, I'm doing it on my own, but you have an agent, you have a support system. But then when you're done, you're shit out of luck. Like you don't have anything. And you hope that those, like John, you were saying, so the one thing we're trying to do is you're not alone. We're trying to educate athletes now when they're playing. We have the whole platform. We have all these educational components to teach them this is what you should be doing. Don't fall into the traps. This is the path you should take. You're not alone. We got you. We'll guide you. Just trust us. We'll get you through this whole entire thing.
I've seen it so many times. You know, someone comes from America, they got a job or taxes are being taken out. All of a sudden, they're getting these whopping paychecks that are basically 1099s, and they don't understand it. They're supposed to be paying taxes on that shit. You know, I've seen guys that have millions and millions of dollars in back taxes.
Yeah, and what can you do? Like, when you've gotten all this money, and I knew a lot of guys. Like, I was always smart with my money. Because I didn't have much growing up, so when I did have it, I was like hoarding it. Like a pirate, like I was just like putting it into a treasure chest. I didn't want anyone to touch my money. I was just like, I didn't have it before, so I'm just gathering it. But other guys, like you spend, and then you come home and you're hit with these tax bills. Luckily, when that Australian situation happened where I had to pay $23,000, I had tons of money in the bank, so I was like, shit, this sucks. So I had to give it, but it wasn't like I didn't have it because I spent it all. So that was something that some guys get that's a problem, and they'll spend it, and then it's like, now what? And you're like, well, now you owe the government this money.
And then they're coming home and they're making a fraction of what they're making, and they've got to be paying that back, and it's like a debt that almost won't be paid by the time they're done, unless they actually get themselves into a high earning situation.
Hey, sorry. It's Kevin. Pro sports is crazy, isn't it? Because culture eats you guys up. We celebrate, we put you on pedestals, and then we spit you out. And then when society recognizes that, oh, but that guy made millions of dollars his whole life. Why is he all fucked up? Why isn't he perfect? And it's almost as if we need to educate the rest of the public that athletes are humans too. Right? Because, we're on the pedestal on Friday, we're holding the Stanley Cup on Sunday, and then on Monday we don't have a job, we're lost, we're pointed over, we're going overseas. And when you say you're alone, any regular human who's reading the news or watching sports going, alone? You just were holding the fucking World Series trophy yesterday. What do you mean you're alone? Nobody thinks about that, Kev, at all.
No, and even like you said, you have in the professional sports, especially in America, you have superstars. You get and Marty, he definitely knows that. Like, if you get to past that 10th player on an NBA bench, like, those 5 are interchangeable with the overseas. Like, everything's interchangeable at that point. So a guy who just won the NBA finals. I had friends who won the NBA finals, like they have rings. They won the NBA finals. The next year they're overseas. And like, you have an NBA ring, but no one knows you. Like, you weren't Jason Tatum. You weren't,
Yeah.
So when you are just a guy and you're like, I have a ring, it's amazing, but I made the league minimum. Now I'm overseas making good money. But
you're a journeyman. You're a journeyman ball player, and you got to somebody celebrated you, and yet you end up.
But here's the thing: I'm gonna just jump in, and I'm gonna. I don't know what you will call this position, but I'm just gonna say what it is. Is that and I say this as to just people in general, but it really applies to what we're talking about here. If a man trained his brain like he trained his chest, his life would be different. And so, for all these guys that, that are in this trouble, it's because they didn't spend time working on themselves. And if they did, this trouble would be minimized if they had it at all. Yeah. I mean, that's one of the things that separated me from a majority of the people I was with and all these different things. I was successful in business before I actually made it into like an international travel situation. And because of that, I was working on myself to get where I was everywhere. And you see the guys that are out there that have that, and you see the guys that don't. And so the guys that don't, and they choose to continue running blind, it's kind of their own fucking fault.
Yeah. And I will say too that the NIL situation in college is going to change a lot in terms of like the business mindset of a young athlete.
Yes.
Because now at a very young age, you are instructed to, you have to have, you know finance, you know how to get money, you know how to retain money, you know how to chase contracts off the court. You know all that information in college. So when you get overseas, it's going to be a little easier. And honestly, like John, like that's why we built this, because there's so many educational components. But like that was the thing. Like when I was overseas, I mean, I played also in the early time period. It's a lot easier now to be able to. I know guys who are financial advisors and still play. They've been able to build their businesses. But I played in like the 2000s. Like the internet wasn't as great of a thing. So like now the guys have more of an advantage because there's so many. There's the network, the online, the digital networking you're able to do right now is way different. I came from like the handshake. This is who I, talking to people face to face.
100%. And real quick, I want to make sure that everybody understands I am fucking so excited, and just the fact that you're doing what you're doing, it is absolutely needed. So I'm stoked that you're doing it. I support it fucking 1,000%. 1,000%, dude. I mean, it's especially because it's needed, period. But no matter what era, I can almost guarantee that guy that's running blind met someone who wasn't and chose not to take the fucking first step. And that's the problem. It's like if you have an opportunity, you have a resource, and you continue, how many times I've seen it where guys chose to go drinking rather than sit and have dinner with someone that could really fucking help them. Okay, well, these are your fucking choices, you know? And when you're on your ass and you don't know what to do, think back to the opportunities that did that beer taste really that good? Did the chicks you had fun with that night, were they really worth it? So all I'm getting at is that I love what you're doing. It's absolutely needed, but the message needs to be to people. Everybody has an opportunity to make sure that their future is going to be okay. You have to recognize it. And sometimes you got to put down that really fun life on the road to secure your future.
Yeah. And like, I think the ego of an athlete falls into play here, because like you have these basketball players who from such a young age are told that they're the greatest thing in the world. And then that's the thing, like to play professional basketball overseas, you have to be really fucking good. Like you have to be amazing at basketball. So when you it's almost like the baseball. There's the big leagues and there's triple. They're just interchangeable. Just like they might be playing it. They might play a game this week in the bigs and the next week in triple. Same thing. I totally get it. You know what I mean? It's highest. It's just a half a notch under the highest level. Yep. And just having that identity, like everyone's, your ego is just blown up. So like, I think that's what we found, even still, when I try to help guys, is like, they're like, I don't need help. Like, there's a lot of that. Like, there's a lot of like, I don't need what you do because I got it. But then they got it until they don't got it. And that's the thing. Like, we're just trying to educate them enough. Like, yo, you are going to fall into a pitfall if you don't do something right now. And if you just choose to go on your own path and say, fuck it, like I got it, you're going to knock on our door later and be like, I don't got it. And that's what we're trying to educate them early. Invest in yourself. You're not alone, but like invest in yourself. That's another one of our slogans, like invest in yourself. Like make sure you put the money into yourself now so that you can be successful later.
Well, you know what's going to happen here, brother, and I'm really stoked about it. Sorry to interrupt you.
Johnny, we got to rock and roll here, buddy. We got to keep it going here.
Okay.
Kevin, we got to rock. I want to be respectful of your time, brother. We're coming to the second hour, and I want to be respectful of your time here. So I'll do some quick hitters with you, pal. Kevin, favorite city you played in?
Cairns, Australia.
Oh, weirdest food you've ever eaten overseas?
Oh, good question.
Jesus Christ. Probably emu, crocodile, kangaroo. That was weird. Also in Australia. So, like, just keep them coming. I'll just say Australia.
Morning person or night owl?
I don't know. I'm both. My schedule is so crazy with youth sports and my children that sometimes I'm home at 11 o'clock. Sometimes I'm up early. Like, it just depends on the crazy schedule that I'm running.
Yeah, I think we know because you do hit the snooze button, Owen. So
yeah, exactly.
Most embarrassing song you secretly love, Kevin.
Oh my God. Like, this is crazy. Like, my daughter loved this song when she was very little, One Direction. And like that, like some of those songs, I was like, these are catchy as hell. And then she'll play them in the car. Taylor Swift, I went to a Taylor Swift concert with my daughter.
Yeah.
And some of those like catchy things that she loves, I kind of like will play in the car when she's not there. I'll be like, all right, this is not bad.
I did.
I also don't care.
I thought you were going to say Pink Pony Club, but I'm glad you didn't say Pink Pony Club. As they
I know that. I definitely know that song.
They were rocking.
Good. The daughters will bring. I have all sorts of songs in my playlist for my daughters, and if they were heard, like, what the fuck are you listening? It's a music is like stored memories for me.
Yeah.
Yes.
It brings you back to like your time with them, and I'm like, that's great.
100%.
As a guy from Philly, Kev, if you weren't in sports, what would you be doing?
I would be either a chiropractor. That's what I wanted to be.
Oh,
probably a chiropractor. That's what, like, I really wanted to be a chiropractor. And then I played, and then I came home, and I had been gone for so long that I just wanted to be home. And their only chiropractic place was in Atlanta. So I just
hold up your hand, brother. Hold up your hand. Look at the damage he could do with that hand, man.
Oh. Johnny, he could
adjust some shit with that hand, man.
Get real big in there. 7 feet. Can you imagine your chiropractor 7 feet? They'd be like, what?
That's what I'm saying. You know, put that big fucking hand down. Like, what the hell is that? Looks like a fucking flying saucer coming to land on me.
Yeah, what's the weirdest thing you're actually proud of from your overseas journey?
Weirdest thing I'm proud of, I think. So in the G League, when I played in the G League, it was the D League back then. But I'm still in the top 40 defensive player of all time. That was
nice.
Like defensive rebounding, I would beat you up. Like I couldn't. Like if you scored on me, I would probably not sleep for days. Like I was psychotic with not letting people score on me. It was a crazy thing.
Hold on there. So A, B, C, D, E, F, G. Oh, so like the seventh best league? Is that why it's called the G League there, Kev?
Yeah, exactly.
And
they called it the D League first. I was like, well, at least it's better than the F League. Like F League.
Dude, make it a little bit serious here. If you could wrap this up, if you could challenge everyone watching to start one habit or mindset shift tomorrow to level up their personal
question.
What would you tell them to do, Kevin, from your perspective?
The biggest thing, I would say that I'm a big component of journaling. I write all the time. Like
brother.
If you look at my computer right now, I probably have, I would say, over 100 articles that I never posted that are just like, if I think of something that like in this world that I'm like passionate about or it just pisses me off, I'll write about it. So you got to
Substack that stuff, brother. Yeah. Don't you think, Keith?
Yeah, absolutely right, Johnny. You're absolutely right, Johnny. Yeah. So then, Kevin, I got a second question there, brother. So then, how do you tell somebody, because we talk about journaling and gratitude every single day on the show. What do you tell somebody who opens up their piece of paper and says, I don't know what the fuck to write. I just don't know where to start. Because that is often the thing that prevents most folks from journaling, yet you embrace it daily. Johnny embraces it daily. Marty gets into it. Marty's a man of faith. How do you condition yourself to open up that blank piece of paper and talk to it?
Just how are you feeling today? Like wake up. What are you feeling? Like, how are you feeling? Even like I write down what I have to do. Like there's all these apps like Motion and stuff.
Yeah.
If you look at like my stuff, like it's just like pads of just paper. And I know that's probably not the best way, but it keeps me organized. And I like to sit in my desk and I like to take notes. I like to type it up, and I just have like a whole whole world of just things that I can accomplish. But I would
start,
say,
man. I love that.
Yeah, just start. How are you feeling today? Like, what is on your agenda? How are you feeling? And like, those things are help.
Yeah. And really what he said too, guys, is he said, ask yourself questions. Now you're answering questions. That's all you're doing is answering questions.
And I would like something you did say, Kevin, not about correcting, but just like to offer some perspective around. You said, I don't know if it's right. It is right. Because again, many folks are worried about what was it right for Kevin? Is it right for Johnny? Is it right for no? If it's right for you, then it's right. Right. And
investing in yourself is always right.
Yeah. And us humans get so caught up in wanting to do what Kevin Owens is doing. And you're like, no, I don't know if it's right or not. No, if it's right for you, then it's right. Right. And I guess that's what it's all about. So
no, Keith, and last thing, like I totally agree. And I think the blueprint for me was different than the blueprint for my friend, the blueprint for this person. And I think what we do as a society right now is we try to follow someone else's blueprint when it's like each person has their own way to find themselves. And that's what I try to do. Like, figure out your identity. Your blueprint's going to be different than mine. How are you going to take those steps to be successful? And I think that's the biggest thing.
Yeah.
Don't follow someone else's idea of success. Your success is going to look different. How you get there is going to look different. But the final product will end up where you want to be.
And it's okay to take little bites of somebody else's blueprint. Like, God, that might work for me. But don't just blindly follow somebody's. That's great advice, brother. Great advice.
Thank you. That's what I love that. Like that, I always wanted to do my own thing. Like you said, follow some things. Take this, but you gotta run your own race.
Kevin Owens, Overseas X, joining us from Philly. Kevin, you are awesome, man. I've thoroughly enjoyed hanging out with you this morning. You are welcome back here any single time. Where can folks connect with you, find you, engage with you, Overseas X? How can our audience, how can our community connect with you, Kevin Owens?
Of course. So on Instagram, where we're most active at the Overseas X, we wanted to set up like the Ohio State. It's the overseasx.com as well. And then Kevin Owens on LinkedIn. And it's crazy because like Kevin Owens, the wrestler, and I was
just gonna say, I was like, we have Kevin Owens coming out tomorrow, not the wrestler, but
there's so many people who follow me on Instagram thinking I'm the wrestler. So every once in a while, I'll like post something to trick them and be like, I posted something with Kevin Owens. Saying, like, you don't want the old Kevin Owens back on. I posted it, and people are like 10,000 followers immediately. I'm like, that's crazy.
Johnny, you and Kevin Owens needs to do a collab. Jon Andersen and Kevin Owens, the wrestler. You guys need to do a fun Instagram collab to have some fun.
Kevin Owens, the wrestler. I'm like, who's this guy?
A snooze lesson from Kevin Owens, the wrestler, and Jon Andersen, the wrestler. Oh man, Kevin, you're awesome, man. Will you come back and hang out with us again, brother?
Absolutely. I love you guys. This is really fun. I love these conversations. I'm like all about like I said, I'm an open book. I don't care. I love having conversations with people. It's amazing. This was a great time. I really appreciate you guys.
Dude, we do. And real quick, last thing I want to say, brothers. I know that you understand because you're an athlete and you understand being pushed, but for the people that don't understand, me, going back and forth with our man here was because that's what we do to make each other better. It's if we don't do that, it's because we don't care. When we do it, it's because we care.
I think that the like everyone thinks that if you come at someone that you hate them and it's like they're an enemy. I'm like, this is conversation. Like I'm old. Like I said, I am a growth model. So like someone says something, I listen. I'm like taking in. I'm like, yeah, maybe I won't hit the snooze tomorrow. Like I'm cool. And I think that's what we have conversations. Sometimes they're conversations that are deep, and you take what people say. This is what the world needs. It's people interacting.
Yeah,
it's like your coach. If your coach isn't saying anything, you got a problem.
Yes, exactly. that's the issue.
Hey, Owens, about a month ago, 6 weeks ago, we had a show with somebody, and somebody was cracking some comments, and Johnny was holding back. And then after the show, Johnny's like, Keith, he goes, I feel like I should have said something to the guy, but I didn't, and it's kind of bothering me. I'm like, well, fuck, then let it to the guy next time. Yeah, I'm going to do it next time because I'm passionate. I'm like, okay. So when I heard you make the comment, I was like, all right, Marty, let's go for it.
He handed that right off to me. He was like, it was just like a quick pitch. He took the ball and just said, flopped it over, run, baby.
Me, I just sat back and watched the show. But hey, Kevin, me and Johnny do this shit all the time. Like me and Johnny just doing it on Monday. Yeah.
And that's what you have to do. That's what
Yes.
makes the world a better place, when people can have real conversations with real people and try to help.
Yes.
This is the best thing. I love this. I really appreciate you guys coming and having me on. This is awesome.
Dude, we do
Yeah,
free
dude,
for all
that was a
Fridays
lot of
every
fun
Friday.
for me too, brother. I
Yeah.
really enjoyed you here.
Yeah, we do free for all Fridays every Friday. Kev, we're kind of bringing it to life. It's a free for all topic. So you come hang out with us, man. Come, bring your coffee
Absolutely.
and knock on my door, Johnny. I say I want to come hang out with you guys and come hang out. Just that's why it's called And Friends on Purpose.
Sounds good. I'm in.
All right, take care, pal. All right, we're gonna
Thank you, guys.
Thank you, brother.
All right,
Kev.
Kev.
Thanks, Ed.
That was fun. That was a lot of fun. Unleashing.
combo, man.
Cool cat, man. Really cool cat.
I agree.
Cool.
Super cool cat. We could have had him for hours because the guy's got stories.
Well,
Yeah,
and
for sure.
he's really found a place that needs help, which is fucking so amazing.
Big time help. I've talked to a lot of hockey guys. I know Johnny and you guys talk to different type of athletes in the US there, but a lot of hockey guys I know that have the exact same challenge that Kevin's talked about. Right? You go over there and you come back, okay, so now what am I doing now? And truthfully, guys, many ways, and Marty, I know when I first started talking to you, that was a lot of the roots of the Business Athlete Performance Lab, which was talking to athletes, former athletes. It's how I met you, and which is okay. There's these guys that are transitioning in life, and how do we help them be unstuck, and how do we help them there? And what Owens is doing over there is obviously a much needed service.
Yeah.
So, Marty,
Definitely.
I suspect you got to rock and roll, Mr. Martin.
Yeah, I got to rock and roll, man. Little more relaxed day because it's a holiday here in the U.S. But
Oh, right, it's June 3rd. It's Juneteenth today.
Juneteenth.
What is it?
So
Yeah, I forgot about that.
What's the holiday?
Juneteenth. Go, yeah. Look it up, Johnny.
Fuck is that?
It's Juneteenth. We're gonna have a Juneteenth lesson here on Mornings in
Keep
Alive.
coming, baby. Keep coming. I'm still in the dark.
No, actually, it is a federal holiday in the States now, isn't it, Marty?
It's a federal holiday now.
Yeah, it's a federal holiday. Yeah,
What the fuck is it?
Marty?
I'm gonna be honest. I don't know the exact meaning and definition, but
It's really called Juneteenth.
yeah, look it up, man.
So
Look it up.
it is. It's related to it's African American culture, Marty. It's there's a I'm just gonna find here.
Like banks are closed type holiday.
Yeah, it's a federal holiday. Everything is not everything, but it's a lot of things closed. Yeah.
No shit.
Oh, there you go.
I mean,
Global
I don't even.
slavery.
I thought it was Friday a second ago. So I mean,
Date-
hell.
Date of the end of slavery. That's what Global just said on YouTube.
That's right.
Oh, okay. Well, that's I'm
I didn't
all
want to
supporting
butcher
that
it.
one, man.
I know it was African American related,
Yes.
but I ain't gonna butcher it. So
Yeah. No, that's fair. I appreciate that, Marty. Well, it's an important day, right? So it's well, I'll tell you what's crazy about it. To be honest with you, is when you think about it, Marty, like slavery didn't end that long ago, and that's what's bizarre about when you talk about slavery and you think about how life and time, and it just seemed like it was yesterday that was ending. So certainly a very important topic to be discussed. And I'm not going to use the word celebrated, discussed, create awareness, and have a discussion around Christopher Martin. So.
yeah, no, you're right. But yeah, Johnny, that's it's an important day, so that's why it's but
Yeah.
I think it became a federal holiday within the past 4 years,
Yes,
maybe.
yeah,
So,
exactly. Well, and the good news is Johnny Marty won't lose his keys today, so that's a good.
Yo, crazy, bro. I was so mad at myself. I'm like, what the fuck?
And dude, that the systems, it's systems for me. What they do is they relieve frustration and anxiety.
Yeah.
Yes.
No, you're
Hey,
absolutely.
we got some comments here that I've been neglectful because we had some great conversation happening in the feeds here. We got Global coming in with it's the date of the ending of slavery. Global comes back earlier with hitting the snooze button is taking charge over the clock mindset of your life and your time. And then some great conversation happening on the vertical stream around music. Lady Drew jumps in. Lady Drew, I'm a professional soul jazz singer and been around the world. I always informed and will inform others. Place me on a pedestal. I am me. I'm not perfect. And then B Drive comes back and says, "That's awesome, Lady Drew. B Drive. Bernard plays guitar. That's why he comes in late. Oh, Bernard, dude, gets up and gets into the guitar every single morning. I love that. What a great non-negotiable. Bernard gets up every single day and strums the chords. That's because that's a skill that takes for so much repetition. What a great non-negotiable habit, right? Whether it's 5 minutes, 15 minutes, because inevitably you're going to be pretty good at it. And then Bernard comes back with easy, Chiro, ever, palm. palm you by the head and pick you up, shake you out like a t-shirt. Let's see here. What else we got here? Oh
I'm
my God.
I'm gonna get up out of here, fellas. I'll see y'all.
You get out of here, Marty.
See y'all Monday, man.
Yeah,
Yes,
you bet.
sir.
Yeah. And then
Have a good loop, brother.
we got Jay
too.
joining us as well on the X feed as well. We got Fan Saves. What's going on, Fan Saves? Good to have you here. If that's that might be Chris McCarthy hanging out this morning, all the way from, I think, Ottawa, Ontario, on Mornings in the Lab with Keith and Friends. Johnny, I feel like you've been sitting there for a while, and I got to think, me and Jimmy are curious that your bladder might be wondering why you haven't released it.
You know, I'm a little bit behind on my water this morning.
Oh,
Yeah,
hold on.
because normally, this is my second one.
Yes.
This is my second one. Normally, I would have a third, and I think because yesterday was like today when my alarm went off, dude, I was like fucking dead. Right, I was like in a deep cycle of sleep. So it took a little more. Normally, I wake up and I'm ready to get up, and I just go and I suck one of these down right out of the gate. And I was having trouble getting the first one down as I was still like couldn't open my eyes. So I'm just a little. It's just the system is not on point, so I'm a little behind on my water, which is making it much easier to hold my bladder.
What I love about this is that you gave Marty shit for his system breaking. We gave Owen shit for his snooze system breaking. And John is just sitting there confidently. Yeah, I'm behind on my system with my water.
Well, I know what the problem is. But I'm the first one to say, yeah, this is what's going on. You know?
Oh, I love it. Jimmy, let's get into hour 2 here on Reloaded. What if I told you that pornography triggers the exact same brain activity as heroin addiction? And
they're the addictive center.
Yeah. And that
sugar does the same thing. There's so many things that can trigger that.
Yeah. And that assistance requests for porn addiction treatment is skyrocketing. I got to tell you, Johnny, since we've been getting into the show here and doing my research and learning, man, porn addiction is bigger than ever.
Brother, I've had multiple clients that came to me with that addiction that we had to curb.
No kidding.
Yeah.
And we read the clip. Let's talk about it. Hold on, Jen. Let's run the
clip. For
yeah.
sure. It's an interesting shit.
Yes, I agree. Jimmy, let's do it.
New research confirms pornography addiction activates the same neural pathways as cocaine and heroin. Your brain's reward system becomes hijacked by artificial stimulation. But neuroplasticity means your brain can heal. You can break free from these neural chains and reclaim your authentic power. Stay vigilant and choose genuine connection over fleeting digital highs. Your future self will thank you for the discipline you practice today. Consistency is the key.
Moral judgment, guys. This is hard science showing that pornography is literally rewiring our brain in ways that mirror drug addiction. And every man needs to understand what's happening in their head when they consume porn. Porn addiction isn't just about sexual behavior. It's about brain health, relationship capacity, motivation, and overall performance. When your brain's reward system is hijacked by artificial stimulation, it affects everything. What I find fascinating about this, Johnny, before I flip over to you and talk about your clients, is that it seems like us as human beings have an easier time talking about alcohol addiction or drug addiction or other food addiction. But yeah, when it comes to porn, we all just kind of huddle up and don't want to.
Because everybody's still fucking too worried about what other people are going to say.
That's why I want to normalize it with you. That's why I'm glad.
Yeah, you know, sex is a very natural thing. Having an orgasm is a very natural thing, and it's also extremely pleasurable. Yeah. So it's easy to want to find, shortcuts or fast tracks to get there, whatever adjective you want to use. But either way, we have many things that sugar, drugs, alcohol, scrolling, it's all doing the same thing. But here's the thing. I'm an addict. I've been addicted to sugar. As a kid, I was addicted to sugar. I had no idea that I was addicted to sugar. Then my addiction turned into, excuse me, I was not knowing I was able to harness that addiction to lifting weights. Now, I still had my sugar addiction, but it was just a little bit of a distraction. I learned to manage my sugar addiction, but really what it comes down to is if you have an addiction, don't look at this as a negative thing. This is a superpower. Hear me loud and clear. No, it's the question is this. You give me an addict that is coachable, I will take that guy every time on my team because As soon as you take that addictive behavior and you harness it to something constructive, and he starts to get that same type of payoff in his brain from constructive behavior, now he's addicted to something that propels his life forward in a massive way. And that is me.
Yes. Yeah.
That is me. I mean, literally, like, even just like with marijuana, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
It's who, I've used it to go to sleep. That's what I told myself, and help me relax to go to sleep. And the next thing you know, because it's so pleasurable, I find myself then it's 30 minutes before bed. Then it's just, the bottom line is, you have to, if you're an addict, you have to be really careful what you welcome into your life, because it's, alcohol, drugs, you can cold turkey that shit, right?
I'll tell you something. I'll confess to you something. And Jimmy, I see the fan stands calling. We're going to come to that in a quick second here. I've purposely stayed away from Las Vegas for a long time for a lot of reasons, and you can imagine all of them.
Oh yeah,
because the lights draw me in, the sounds, the smell, the food, and next thing you know, Johnny, because I've been there, bad decision after bad decision.
And when you don't have a financial limitation, that fucking place has way too many choices that will take you down the wrong path.
Been there, brother. Been there. You fucking want to name it? I've been there. And I'm just like, you know what? I'm not going to go walk into the candy store if I don't want to have the candy. You follow me?
Exactly.
Because
exactly.
I had to make that. And I get nervous. Let's go to Vegas. Oh, I don't know. I my body gets so fucking tight.
Mm-hmm.
Right?
Well, it's because you kind of, that addiction is, you could feel that addiction, that thing coming up that's going to start altering your choices. So my clients that have come to me that have had porn addictions, what we had to do was we basically had to create a series of habits. We had to, you can't just say change your mindset. It's not that easy.
No.
Right? You have to create a series of habits that will get them moving into a direction where now at least they're in kind of a neutral space. Then you can kind of start working on reframing the mind. But here's the thing. There's a certain payoff that addiction gives you. You have to basically create a set of habits where you're doing an activity that's going to give you that payoff, but it's constructive.
Yes.
And what happens is, as long as you're getting your payoff every day, the question, that's the crossroad I come to with my clients. Okay, you're going to get your payoff today. What activity are you going to choose?
Yes. Yeah. Coming back to where, we're talking porn addiction with men here, and I want to get to a comment that Fan Saves gets up here, and hell yeah, brother, with Shaken McCarthy. Great conversation, guys. Kind of shocked, to be honest, about the lack of awareness around Juneteenth. No shade. I actually think this is the beauty of the show. You're making us better men. You know, Chris, I want to address that because it's interesting, because where I struggle with these days of recognition, and I don't want to diminish it, so I want you guys to hear me clearly. And I know John lines up with this, so I'm going to speak. I'm going to speak on behalf of Keith and John. Actually, Jimmy came a couple of days ago and said, "Hey Keith, happy Father's Day. What are you doing today?" And I was like, "I don't know." He goes, "I know you." I go, "Yeah, because every day is Father's Day. Every day is Mother's Day. Every day is Mental Health Day. Every day should be Juneteenth Day." I get frustrated where society likes to pick a day. Okay, it's Mental Health Day today. Hey, it's Bell Let's Talk Day. No, it's your fucking corporate month day to talk about you're making your mental health contributions. So I don't want to dismiss the lack of knowledge around Juneteenth. That's not the point at all. For me, it's not so much a lack of awareness. I just struggle with society picking a day, going, okay, it's this month, we're going to celebrate Father's Day. No, how about we just celebrate Father every day? It's Mother's Day this month. Well, let's celebrate mothers every day. And it's a human.
It's like New Year's resolutions. Why do we let go of this idea until this singular day wraps back around? 364 days later, I'll readdress this.
Yeah. So go to June 13th. Okay. So we're going to go and piss on slavery for 364 days of the year because we're going to normalize it. And on one day we're going to go poo poo it. So I hear you, Fan Saves, Chris, and I love you, brother. And I appreciate your comment. And I agree with you actually. And you do raise a point, which is, hey, why weren't we aware of it? And it wasn't so much because I knew it was more so this, I just try not to get caught up in these singular days that means.
Well, in these occasions, what they need to symbolize obviously the awareness thing is great. It's making me aware.
Yes.
But now that I have the awareness, once someone has the awareness this day, what it should do is it should slightly level up the position. So every year wraps around, it's not just up. It's actually, okay, year 1 of awareness, year 2 of awareness, year 3 of awareness. So your New Year's resolution, in essence, perfect example, you should be stacking yourself another brick on the wall, not trying to get the bricks that fell off the fucking wall all year long.
And then here's the last thing I'm going to say in this too, Johnny. And here's what frustrates the F out of me is that, so somebody decides it's going to be Juneteenth today. And then some other guy just says, okay, well, I'm a capitalist, I'm a Marxist, I'm going to go make some money off this whole thing. So now it turns into a celebration of economic behavior. It's like Father's Day, all these months are created to create economic activity for the economy. And it just seems like, okay, we're going to create a day to go drive economic value. So somebody's now selling millions of dollars of Juneteenth shirts. Again, I want the awareness. I'm not trying to dismiss please do not jump on me because I'm not trying to get the awareness out there. But why can't we have awareness all year? Like, why can't we talk about mental fucking health every single day instead of, okay, we're going to talk about it today because it's that day. No, let's talk about it every day. So that's just going on. So Chris, I appreciate you and I appreciate you bringing it up. And I can see the other comments out here because I see Bernard coming in with, I appreciate that fan says, I thought it was more of a woke agenda on genders. So I appreciate the wisdom. And then Bernard comes back with, I agree with Keith too. We have great government holidays piling up. It's like every single month the government's giving us a day off to go and do something that's not moving life forward. It's a banking scheme. Every day it's closed, they still make interest. Like I said, it's interesting. I find it somewhat fascinating. So listen, I know you got a rock and roll, pal. Great show today. Owens was great. Drop some nuggets. I loved the snooze conversation because it's what we stand for. So I guarantee you Owens is not snoozing anytime soon. I'm going to have coffee with him later today. He's going to be like, holy fuck, man, I got my anti-snooze button now. He's going to come back on the show with a tattoo. I don't snooze.
Yeah, I mean, because with what he represents, I mean, I was just literally taking a page out of my book. If I was trying to make a pivot and I'm doing shit like making snooze, that pivot's going to be much fucking harder.
Yes, yeah, absolutely, yeah, exactly. Well, and what I loved about how Kevin brought it back to being relatable too, and I've done it with you too. Is that at the end of the day, we're all still human, right? And like you say, sometimes I stand in front of the fridge going, "What the hell am I doing?" Just like, you clicked your snooze to get yourself in for those extra 9 minutes of mental.
Call myself a fat ass.
Yeah,
get away from the fridge, fat ass.
Makes us. What do you got going on today, pal, before I get you out of here?
Oh, it's a good day. So I'm going to catch my training.
Yeah.
And I've got I'm really excited. I got a couple of really good, exciting client calls.
Nice.
And we're turning the corner into some mental reframing. That's always the funnest part for me.
Nice. Speaking of mental reframing, I thought that my hour 3 buddy was being reframed, but I got some encouraging news over the last couple of days, Anderson. So, which is why I've been quiet with you. But I'm still getting a sense that our buddy that we talked to last week there, he'll be renamed nameless right now, Bannister, will be joining us here very soon. So,
I love it. Yeah. So then I got somewhere. I actually have a call with my Facebook rep about 2, and then after that, they should be all showing up. So.
Nicely done.
Yeah.
Good. All right, pal. Well, you know what? You're going to have an awesome day, long weekend with your girls. I'm excited for you, brother. That's going to be a lot of fun. Hey, Carter's grads tomorrow night. I got a big grad celebration tomorrow night. My young boys.
Congrats.
Yeah, I will. I absolutely will. Oh, speaking of congrats, brother. Your assistant gave AJ your phone number yesterday. And your assistant was made aware yesterday that he texted you, and your assistant, that's me for everybody.
No, dude, you must have fucked up on the number because I didn't get a text yesterday. I'm on top of my text like white on rice. What number did you give him?
Dude, I copy and pasted your text from the fucking phone that you give me. I'm not going to say it on the air here, but I'll double check it.
Thank you. Yeah, no, I stay because the number I gave you is a number that I stay on top of. That's the number I make sure that I am on top of. So if Yeah, I mean, there's no way.
I will double check. Uncle Keith's maybe crooked eyes got the number incorrect there. So that's funny, man. Lady Drew, I appreciate that. Yeah, Carter's graduating tomorrow. I'll pass on the congrats as well. Oh, Bernard, I need a Facebook rep. They banned me and I have no idea. Bernard, go connect with Johnny. Johnny can connect you with his Facebook rep.
Well, if they banned you, that's why you don't have a rep, dude.
All right, Jimmy, let's get Johnny out of here. He's going to rock and roll, brother. I love you. I appreciate you. Lots of love. We're going to get back after tomorrow, less than 24 hours. Jon Andersen.
Let's rock. And assistant, please tell AJ that if the text had come through, I would have responded.
John's going to.
Is he a blue or a green text out of curiosity?
He'll be a blue text.
Yeah, then there's no fucking way.
Yeah, well, so Johnny's assistant Keith is failing his task of getting the phone number over. Maybe my dyslexia was getting in the way too. Jimmy's giving me all these fucking emojis right now, looking at you and I like, who are you two fools?
Yeah, sometimes I have to give my assistants like direct, actual instructions. So maybe what you need to do is create a group text so that way you can verify that I actually get it. And when you see me chime up, then you know that I'm good.
I'm doing it right now, you fucker. Get out of here, Andersen. We'll see you
have a good live, brother.
I love you, man. We'll see you later.
Love you too, brother.
All right, Johnny's going to get out of here, you guys. I'm going to do this. Okay, well, I'm playing some tunes for you guys to get it warmed up here. John's assistant is connecting you to. Yeah, there you go. So I'm going to show you guys this so John knows that I'm legitimate. Yeah. There you go. There you go, Johnny. There you go, Zeglin. There. What's going on, everybody? Mornings in the Lab with Keith and friends. And my buddy, producer Jimmy, hanging out with me every single day. Jimmy and I were getting after last night over there. I'm making a second set for the third hour. So Keith and Jimmy were getting it sorted out. Up a little late last night, a little later than normal because I was working with Jimmy on the alternative set, the third hour set coming up. All right, let's get into the community corner. Robots, real talk, and redirecting manhood. Really? What's fueling your morning this morning, guys? What's fueling your morning this morning, you guys? It's time for the community corner where we convert, where we connect. Let's. Andersen's texting me back here. Let's see what Andersen has to say before we get into the community corner here. Hey, my brother, I will text you on my private thread right now so my assistant can't creep on our communication. Oh, there we go, Andersen. All right, so let's get into it. Let me guys ask you something. Are the stories we tell ourselves about success, health, and even technology helping us grow or just holding us back? Let's dive into today's mix of boldness and honest reflection on this morning's Community Corner on Mornings in the Lab with Keith and friends. Let's start it. It sounds just like this. All right, stop feeling bad if you don't want to be an entrepreneur. There you go. You ever feel like you're the odd one out for not wanting to build your own business? Well, Melania Jackson on Substack gives us permission to step off the hustle train. She says not everyone is built for entrepreneur mode, and that's not a flaw. If you're craving consistency or a steady path, that's just as valid as chasing unicorns. Now, Millennia's message is a breath of fresh air for anyone tired of feeling less than for choosing a different route. Anyone in the audience who doesn't want to build a business, say hi in the comments. You don't have to go and build a business. Just go enjoy doing what you want to do. All right. The 4 things every man needs coming back on Substack. Taylor Seaford breaks it down. If you want to be grounded and present, you need 4 things. 4 things. Time alone, time with zero demands, time in nature, and time with other men. He calls them the essential nutrients for thriving, not just surviving. And Taylor shares how these moments help us reset, recharge, and show up better in every part of your life. Now think about it. When was the last time you truly unplugged or had a great conversation with a good friend? Maybe it's time to schedule that camping trip or just sit quietly on the porch with your own thoughts. Keeping it moving into LinkedIn. My divorce didn't affect my kids. Or did it? Well, Chris Coulter, calls out the myth that divorce doesn't impact kids, pointing to real stats. Anxiety, depression, substance use, and even school performance all takes a hit. Chris messages about facing the facts, not shaming anyone. He's also spotlighting an upcoming event on how mentorship can help teens bounce back from tough family changes. If you or someone you know is going through this, maybe mentorship is the missing link. Go check out Chris on LinkedIn to learn more. All right, keep it rolling, guys. The robots are winning, but here's what they can't do. Are you worried that robots are about to take over everything? Well, they are. No shit in that. Dan Cumberland's post on LinkedIn points that Waymo's self-driving cars are actually outpacing Lyft in San Francisco and could soon pass Uber. These robot cars work almost 24/7. No breaks, no coffee, no snooze button. It sounds like the machines are winning, but here's the twist. Dan reminds us there's a whole world of things robots just can't compete with. Now, they might be unbeatable at grinding through data and driving at night, but when it comes to creativity, empathy, and real connection, we're still in a league of our own. Robots can't read a room. They can't invent something totally new or even offer a shoulder to lean on when life gets tough. So as technology races ahead, maybe the real edge is doubling down on what makes us human. Our imagination, our heart, our philosophy, and the way we connect with each other. All right, guys, that's what's happening in the feeds over on LinkedIn and Substack. Are you rethinking your definition of success, planning some time in nature, or just a little nervous about your next Uber ride? I'm curious. Love to hear your comments and your thoughts below. And if you want your story featured on the show, I'd invite you to tag us over on LinkedIn, tag us on Substack, and bring us to the party. We might just feature you on the next segment of the Community Corner on Mornings in the Lab with Keith and Friends. As we continue the segment, let's get on to the Creator Spotlight. And could you imagine losing everything that made you feel strong, mobility, routine, and even your sense of self? Well, for a year, you watch from the sidelines and every day it feels heavier. Most people settle for a new normal, but someone out there turned that setback into a system for real, lasting change. One that fits right into the chaos of daily life. Gained 38 pounds, battled depression after a freak accident, tried every diet and brutal workout before realizing sustainability beats extremes. Now, this guy has coached over 400 men, busy dads, execs, high performers to lose weight for good, all without giving up what matters most. Today, Mornings in the Lab and Business Athlete Nation is celebrating Jimmy Mackey, the founder of Catalyst Transformations. Jimmy keeps himself in top shape with only 3 hours a week of training while running his business, supporting his family, and even time to surf. Yeah, baby, surfing away. If you're looking for real transformation, not just another fitness promise, I invite you to follow Jimmy. Hey, we got a call coming on the call lines. Good morning, Mornings in the Lab with Keith and Friends. Who do we got here this morning? I do not hear you. Let's just have a quick check here. Hold the horses. Hold the horses. Let's bring you up here. All right, let's do that right here. Who's on the line here with me this morning?
Hey, this is Chris.
Chris McCarthy.
From Ottawa.
Joining me on Mornings in the Lab with Shaking Up McCarthy from Fans Days. Hey, guys, if you're looking for the greatest fan experience wherever you're traveling, you got to connect with Fans Days. Chris, where's Fans Days these days?
I missed that. You cut out there. Can you say that again?
I said, where can we find Fans Days these days? I gave a little plug for the business, my brother. Where can we find Fans Days? What markets are we in these days, brother?
My man, we're all over North America. We're based here just outside of Ottawa, but helping teams increase their fan engagement all across North America. So you can pretty much find us anywhere, but you can download the app or go to our website. But I'm not calling to pitch or promote Fans Days. I just want to give a huge shout out to you, Keith, for bringing men together in the morning in the lab. And I commented from my YouTube account from Fan Saves, but just going back to that Juneteenth comment, I didn't want to not call and kind of like touch on that because I'm not trying to come off as righteous or anything like that. I think if we can learn something every day, one thing every day, we become a better human or better men.
Yes.
So I appreciate these conversations and even tough conversations like you have with friends every day. So I encourage anyone that's listening to the show to go and look up the true meaning of Juneteenth. It's not just another holiday. It's not like a Father's Day or Pride Month. It's a specific date in history that has a lot of meaning to the African American community. And as a white man, I think it's really important for everyone to educate themselves on that. So I just wanted to call, huge fan, first time caller, long time listener, and appreciate everything you do for men.
Chris McCarthy, you are awesome, man. Chris McCarthy, CEO and co-founder of FanSaves. He's a stud. He's a star. And I listen, I want to keep this conversation going with you, brother, because I appreciate you and I appreciate you called it out. And I got to be honest, when it was first called, so I knew the answer, but I was embarrassed to say it out loud. I'll offer it up because I didn't want to get it wrong. Right. And then it wasn't so much about getting it wrong and I did articulate my values around it, which was I do struggle from time to time, Chris and Jimmy, let's put that logo up there. I do struggle that sometimes society gets caught up in, okay, we're going to take a day. But you're right. As a white man in a society that, we live in, we need to find these moments to create awareness. And if we can create awareness 1% at a time on a daily basis, it makes us all better people. So Chris, I'm really glad you called it out. I'm glad you put it on the table. And frankly, what I love about this is why I created this show, so we can have a conversation and have a discourse. It's not about being right or wrong. It's about creating awareness. And Chris, that's exactly what you did, brother.
100%. It's okay to not be informed. But I think we should, be more tolerant. We should educate ourselves and just be better humans overall. I mean, it's not like you need to go walk in a parade or, post on social media about your opinions and anything like that. I just think it's important for us to know like history, where we've been and where we're going as a society. I got back from my run this morning. I was up at 5 a.m. I had to bring the car in to get the winter tires taken off. I know in June. Hit my personal best for my 5K this morning. I was having a great morning, and then I opened LinkedIn to find your face and the great conversation you guys are having, and I just wanted to chip in and give my perspective on the topic.
All right, Chris, that's so awesome. And so, a few things. I'm appreciative of you being a listener. I appreciate you took the time to send us a comment. I'm appreciative you joined the hotline here. You guys can all join the conversation, 431-300-3005. Jesse Carter, I see you there in the comments as well. And Fit Presenter, you got yourself. So Chris, Fit Presenter, Mike McQuillan over on LinkedIn. He went out and crushed his run this morning as well. Mike, did you get a PR? Because McCarthy got himself a PR this morning. And Chris is, since you're here, brother, I gotta ask you. You and I sat back about a year or so ago. FanSaves was off doing some exceptional things. Where are you at on your journey, pal? How's FanSaves coming along, and how's the business going, pal?
Yeah, honestly, it's been an incredible journey. Started the company 2016 as a startup in sports and sports tech, and over the past 8 years, we've grown it into an international brand and got something pretty significant cooking behind the scenes. I can't.
Yeah.
That, but the end of a chapter, but the start of a new chapter, and just to bring it back to the show, it's all about educating men, being better humans. Last year during the summer and into Q3 and Q4, I kind of dealt with some burnout as an entrepreneur, just grinding. And I know you can relate to this as a founder yourself that exited a company. I was smoking weed. I was drinking more than I'd like to admit. I was, picking up a lot of bad habits on eating as well. And it really burnt me out with my mental health. And, into the new year, I just changed my mindset. People like yourself, just you're helping more people than you even know. But I just got back on track, really worked on my mental health, started reading more. I did some journaling. And, walking turned to running and putting one foot in front of the other. And here I am today running, 5K in under 24 minutes. And looking back before the new year, I was out walking around the community, but positive affirmations, practicing gratitude daily. These things sound hokey and, silly, but they've honestly really helped me. And one of the comments one of your guests said earlier is like, you don't have to follow someone else's playbook. Exactly. Like you can take bits and pieces of what other people have done to be successful and kind of make that into your own playbook. And now I speak at, mental health events, which I never thought I would do. Growing up playing competitive hockey, being in the locker room, feelings and talking about mental health is not something that you would ever do, and the culture has changed a lot now. There's a lot of resources, a lot more attention to mental health, but now I speak at conferences and I openly share about my experience with other founders and people that are dealing with their own challenges. So, life is a journey. Your mental health is a journey, and we're only on this planet for so long. You should take care of yourself and be the best person that you can be.
That's awesome. Chris McCarthy joining us from outside of Ottawa, Ontario, the CEO and co-founder of FanSaves. Chris, I got to ask, if you don't mind me asking here, you said you were on your journey. There was clearly a moment in your journey where you woke up or you were going to bed or there was a middle of the day where you looked in the mirror, you're like, enough's enough of my behavior. How did, as an entrepreneur, a successful business guy, athlete yourself, how did you catch that moment, Chris?
I'm not sure, honestly. I grew up playing competitive hockey my whole life. I've always been in really good shape. When my hockey career ended, it was, for a lot of athletes transitioning from, having that culture, that family, that band of brothers around you all the time. And for me, I was lucky. I was able to start a company and I dove headfirst and put all my attention into that. So I was lucky in the sense that I had something to focus my energy on. And I think a lot of athletes, once they leave the game, they struggle to find who they are and what's next in their life. But having said that, I consider myself a little bit of a workaholic. I mean, I have some work-life balance, but just grinding and traveling and, being on podcasts, always being on, for 8 years, it just weighed me down. And I love what I do. I'm very proud of how far we've come and everything like that. And the people that, work for us and the whole community that's got us to where we are now. But anyone that says starting a company and scaling it is easy is flat out lying. And I think we need to normalize that, it's really friggin' hard. And, there's going to be times where you doubt yourself and, you pick up bad habits. But I think listening to shows like this and having the conversation with other men, it's fine to give yourself some grace. Anyways, I don't know. I looked in the mirror one day and I knew I had it in me. I've always had it in me, and I just decided to make a change. And like I said, I started walking. That's it. One foot in front of the other. We can all walk, right? I listened to a motivational podcast, snippets of really successful people, Tom Brady, Mike Tyson, all these celebrities and athletes, Tony Robbins, and I just every day I kind of reinforce those really positive learnings and the things that they're saying, the mantras, and it's really helped grow me as a person and improve my mental health.
Yeah.
So if you're listening to the show live or at a future date, and you might feel like you're stuck, don't know how to get out of this rut that you're in. I mean, I can share my mental playbook, but I've shared some things that have helped me along the way, and hopefully it can help someone else. Yeah,
Chris, before I let you go quickly, buddy, you said one thing which I think is the most important thing you said. I just got up and went for a walk. And I bring that up because often that's the hardest thing for us men and humans sometimes to do, right? When we're stuck, is actually get it and putting that one foot in front of the other. And what I like about it, Chris, you didn't wake up and say, okay, I got to change 1,000 things right now. You're like, no, I'm going to first start with my walk. And you got walking. And then I'm thinking after that, a few other things started changing. And then, one thing led to another. And now you're hitting a PR in your 5K run. So, but it all started with that awareness that you needed to go for a walk. I love that, man. That's what a great message, Chris McCarthy.
One of the things I used to tell myself when I was playing hockey was if you don't get a little better every day, you stay the same. No one should ever want to stay the same. You should always want to improve and just get a little bit better. To your point, you don't need to run the 5K tomorrow, but if you can start by walking and you can walk a kilometer and then the next day you can walk 1.5 kilometers, or just little steps, baby steps every day, they equal bigger things. So.
Awesome. Chris McCarthy joining us from Ontario. Chris, this is awesome, man. I'll never forget this. I got to tell you, brother, we launched this hotline last week and 2 weeks ago it was, and we got some pretty big plans for it. Because as you got to know me and got to know the show, it's trying to create a morning circus, some fun here. And the line's out there. We've had a few people phone it, and the fact that it rang here, I'm like, hey, the phone's ringing. You can imagine my face, right? So it's like, okay, let's see what's happening here. So what a nice surprise. Dude, a lot of love from me to you and what you're doing with FanSaves. Would you do me a favor when you're ready to make some announcements and share some wonderful news? Would you come back on the show and hang out with us and share that with us?
I would love to, man. I'm a passive listener of the show, and I just felt compelled to call in today and just clarify my comments. But a huge fan of you, man, and a huge fan of the show. And hit that hotline, guys. Give Keith a call, and let's keep the conversation going about everything. We needed to, as a community, share what we're dealing with.
Yes.
And help each other out, right? So.
Yes. Hey, quick hockey. Were you happy with what happened in Florida, or were you kind of waiting for Game 7 to see if Edmonton was going to do it?
I was devastated. I was a big fan of McDavid. I wanted to see McJesus hoist the cup, but there's always next year. I think that man's going to hoist it. So good on the Florida Panthers, a hell of a squad, and great coaching staff, and unbelievable goaltending, and defense wins championships. So hopefully the Oilers can adjust that in the offseason. I'm a big Sens fan, I'll say. I wanted the Oilers to win, but big Ottawa Senators fan.
I know you are. Well, I'll tell you, Chris, I still have the Smythe Division blues tattooed all over my brain, McCarthy. So I was struggling to cheer for my Smythe Division brethren. I may have been cheering for Paul Maurice and some of the ex-Jets there on Florida, but Cal Pickard, a wonderful Oilers, is my neighbor down the road there. So I'm not going to lie. I had a little bit of love cheering for Cal, but it was fun. What a great hockey series. And it was just too bad it's over, but in 2 months, Chris, it's back again, so it's not that long, right? So
that's right. Let's get a Sens Jets final there.
There you go. So, there you go. Chris and Keith, the Winnipeg Jets, Ottawa Sens final coming up in the future. We're gonna have some fun. Chris McCarthy joining us from Ottawa. I appreciate you, brother. Lots of love to you. Thanks for hanging out with me this morning on Mornings Lab. Okay, pal?
Appreciate you, man. All the best.
All right, I appreciate it too. All right, we're gonna let Chris get out of here. Jimmy, that was freaking cool, man. That was freaking cool, man. That was so awesome. 431-300-3005. You guys see how it works? Just pick up the phone, make a call, get you on the show. As simple as that. 431-300-3005. Leave a voicemail, send a text, join the conversation. Chris McCarthy joined us. He called us out. He's like, hey, why the hell don't you guys know Juneteenth? And I'm not saying Chris, but he's like, man, it was so much just creating the conversation around it. And like I said earlier, guys, it's not about being right or wrong. It was more about creating that awareness. So, not out there to offend anybody, just out there to create great dialogue and create awareness and help us all be better as men. Fit presenter coming in with Jimmy. Let's throw this on the screen. Good job, Fit. Good job, Fit. Mike McQuillan's going to live longer today, Jimmy. PR for most accomplished before 9 a.m. Kerplunked the wife and took the long way running to the top of the Reno, Canada. Mike, you already have more calls than Al Bundy's Dr. Shoeline. That's true, Mike. That's so true. Mike, what are you calling me, man? What are you calling me? Mike McQuillan, living longer. Guys, we talk about it every single day. Life expectancy work. If we're having more sex, if our partners are having more sex, we are all living longer. Period, point blank. That is science. So if you want to live longer, get to kerplunking. Jimmy, there's the new word for the show. Get to kerplunking. That's it. I appreciate you, Roof. I appreciate you, Mike. I appreciate you so much. A lot of fun there. Jimmy, I think I was in the middle of my community corner creator spotlight when McCarthy phoned, which was a lot of fun here. So we're going to keep it rocking and rolling. So we were challenging. We were celebrating Jimmy Mackey. Jimmy keeps himself in top shape with only 3 hours a week of training while running his business, supporting his family, and evening time and finding time to surf. Yeah, I remember that part. I said, surfing. Good for you, man. That's it. Let's see. I got to get some tunes off here, get the right tunes on the show here. All right. So let's make it sound like this. If you're looking for real transformation, Jimmy's got to do all this cutting. He's like, oh my God, I got to cut it here. I got to cut it there. Yeah, true story. Yeah. If you're looking for real transformation, not just another fitness promise, I invite you to follow Jimmy, not producer Jimmy. You can follow him too. But I really want you to follow Jimmy Mackey, the founder of Catalyst Transformations. See how discipline, smart systems, and a balanced routine can help you start your day right. All right, let's keep it rolling here. We are going to keep it rolling here. We're going to pivot over to the other platform we like to spend time on, which is over on Substack. And we got somebody we're going to shine the light on. You ever looked at your impressive job title, packed schedule, and steady routine and wondered, what if I'm missing the point? Wow. I clearly missed the point this morning with Juneteenth. Thanks, McCarthy. I'll never forget it now, Chris, ever, actually. Most people push that thought aside and they just get busier. But not this guy. He reached the top in finance before most of us finished figuring out our careers. He was a managing director at 31, like Christopher Martin, earning millions, but felt the cost, burnout, stress, and a sense of that work didn't line up with what mattered. So he hit reset. He walked away, and he started asking better questions. He just didn't reinvent his own path. He started sharing what he learned. He's taught hundreds how to build meaningful careers, design frameworks that make work less about grind and more about growth, and now leads one of the sharpest newsletters for professionals who want to stay ahead without burning out. That's Key High. He's the voice behind Future Proof Your Career, a newsletter breaking down AI, new technology, and practical strategies for real world careers. It's honest, it's useful, and designed for people who want their work to matter. So if you're interested in leveling up, I invite you to follow Key High over on Substack and engage with the Future Proof Your Career newsletter breaking down AI, new technology, and practical strategies. Key, here's how it works. We'd love to have you on the show. We'd love to invite you here into the lab. We'd love to give you the creator spotlight so you can celebrate somebody in your world and keep the conversation going daily in the community corner on Mornings in the Lab with Keith and Friends. All right. Okay, Jimmy. I think we did it, man. I think we did it. I'm gonna play us out with this one here. I like this one. All right, guys. We kicked the show off. In hour one, we talked about men being paid for hugs, man mums. Yeah, muscular men in China are being paid $7 to have a hug. True story. There you go. Speaking of true story, I invite you to check out the Mornings in the Lab store, morning.store. The morning.store. You get some merchandise for yourself, get nice hats. Get the Mornings in the Lab sticker, the greatest sticker ever made. That is a true story. Speaking of true story, we got a wonderful line of true story hats. So if you like to pay attention to the show, you can proudly walk around with your own true story hat on top of your skull there. Definitely a lot of colors. Yeah, I might have designed them myself. Another true story. Let's check it out. Themorning.store. I also invite you guys to join the conversation. 431-300-3005. Just like Chris McCarthy did today. Yeah, that's another true story there. Well, just telling you guys. Live conversation. Drop a text. Drop a voicemail. If your voicemail's fun, we might even play it on the air. Yeah, there you go. All right, so tomorrow is free for all Fridays. No guests except you. So what do you guys want to talk about tomorrow? Again, why don't you leave me a comment? Leave me a voicemail. Give me a call. I got a bunch of topics on deck for the show tomorrow, but I want to hear from you guys. I want to hear what you guys want to talk about. We're going to make it free for all. Phone lines will be open. Whoever wants to join, not whoever. Lady Drew, you're invited. Adam Holroyd, you're invited. Why? You're paying members of the community. Yeah, $3, $15 a month, $20 a month to join the Mornings in the Lab community. It's live and ready to get after it right single now. And no, this is not about lining my bank account. This is about investing in the show to make it bigger and bolder, to keep these great conversations are happening for men every single day. You heard McCarthy. Let's get after it. 1% better daily makes us all better men. So, love to hear what you guys have to say so we can continue that conversation right here. All right, so we kicked it off with the Morning Man Moms. We had Kevin Owens talking about Overseas X, how he's helping athletes transition from life over there to back over here. We talked about porn addiction. We talked about how it's wiring our brains, but like it's wiring our brains like a cocaine addiction or like a heroin addiction. And guys, you know what? I'm going to offer this to you. If you're struggling with it, if it's part of your life, reach out. Reach out to me. Reach out to Johnny. Reach out to Marty. No judgment. All grace. Let's talk about it. Let's help you walk through those addiction challenges. Not a counselor. Not a therapist by any stretch. AJ Zeglin is. But I certainly can offer you a shoulder, can offer you some ears, can offer you some conversation to help move forward without any judgment. No judgment here in the lab, you guys. No judgment at all. Lady Drew knows no judgment. Adam Holroyd knows no judgment. They join us every single day. Lady Drew coming in with sex and making love are great exercises and stress reducers. Yes, true story. Helps you sleep better, helps you feel better, and socialization will be a wonderful topic. All right, so here's what we're going to do, guys. I'm going to transition our sounds to sound like this. We're going to start walking ourselves out of the lab. We're back at it right here, 8 o'clock Eastern time. LinkedIn over there. Lady Drew, no judgment. I got no time for judgment. The world is too busy judging everybody. I have no time for it. You're human. You got a heart. You're kind. You're welcome. Speaking of kind, you guys connect with Matthew Roof lately? The uncommon kindness guy. Roof, he joins the show every single day. He's a partner in the lab. He's helping us build this thing. If you haven't met Matt, I'd encourage you to go meet Matt on LinkedIn. Matthew Roof. Go connect with the Roofmeister. The kindest human you'll ever meet. Oh, besides myself. The true story. Matthew Roof. Lots of love for him as well, guys. So go connect with Matty over there on LinkedIn side of things. But on behalf of Jimmy, on behalf of Kevin, Marty, Johnny, the entire gang this morning on Mornings Live with Keith and Friends, Chris McCarthy, I appreciate you, man. I love you, brother. Thanks for joining us today. Guys, go check out FanSaves if you haven't. FanSaves, the greatest fan platform for fans around the world. It is awesome. Download it to your phone. You're going to get deal saves. You're going to save money. You're going to benefit the organization, benefit your community, and hey, benefit your pocketbook. Go check it out. FanSaves will help you. And if you're a fan of sports, I actually don't know why you wouldn't have the app. I really don't know why you wouldn't have. Jimmy, why would you, if you're going to a sporting event where FanSaves is in your community, why would you not have the app? It's like a no-brainer. It's like, fuck, I got to get FanSaves. So anybody tuning in right now that want a better fan experience, check out Chris McCarthy's FanSaves product. You can find him. All right, Jimmy, let's get out of here, guys. We'll see you tomorrow, 8 o'clock Eastern time. I don't have a guest to tease because it's all about you guys. Free for all Friday. See you guys tomorrow. Leave us a conversation, 431-300-3005. See you guys tomorrow, guys. Bye.